Hey guys, Mike here with a big heart, and today I'm going to talk to you about cardio training with my heart disease, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. I'm really excited to talk to you today about doing cardio, walking, running, biking, while living with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy or another form of heart disease. As always, before I start, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that I am not a medical professional. I am not a doctor, and you should always be consulting with your doctor before you do any sort of physical activity when living with heart disease. The reason I'm sharing this video is because I'm going to share my journey, what I do, and hopefully that as another heart disease patient, you might be able to relate to me. So again, always go back, talk to your doctor, and get their guidance before doing anything. So again, today I'm excited to talk about doing cardio. Right? It's a really important thing. Elevate your heart rate. Some of us, like myself, might be on medication that keeps that heart rate really low. So it's good to get it up sometimes. It's good to sweat, and of course, it just feels good when you do it. So I'm going to talk about my cardio journey, how I've kind of developed in the last 16 years since my sudden cardiac arrest. And then I'm going to talk about some different types of cardio that I do, how I do them, and why I think they're beneficial. All right, so I'm going to take you back before my sudden cardiac arrest. I was training at a really high level. I'm working with physical trainers, I was working with basketball trainers, and I was participating in different types of workouts, basketball practices, games, and I got my heart rate up a ton. I was in great shape before my sudden cardiac arrest. When I was in the hospital, my doctor definitely wanted me to take it easy for a little bit. They wanted me to kind of ease back into doing things. And on top of that, I was scared. I was scared to do anything. I didn't want to go into sudden cardiac arrest again. I didn't want to do something that was going to make my defibrillator shock me for no reason. Unfortunately, you know, I was a senior in high school and I was still eating a high school diet, which meant fast food, dessert, you know, it's just not the best diet, because before my cardiac arrest, it didn't matter because I was just burning so many calories every single day. So I stopped working out, I kept eating, which meant I started to gain weight, which meant that I wasn't too confident when I looked at myself in the mirror. And this led to some other mental health issues, so I got to a point where I knew that I needed to figure out how I could be active again and feel safe doing it. So my doctor suggested I go to cardiac rehab. And I showed up my first day of cardiac rehab and I hated it. I was the youngest person in the room by about 50 years. I was 17. I think the next youngest guy was, I don't know, 65. And they said the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put you on a treadmill. I said, perfect. I've run on the treadmill plenty of times. And they started it and they put it on speed 1.5. And I looked at the nurse and said, okay, are we going to speed this up a little bit? And she said, no. She said, we're gonna monitor you. We're gonna slowly get you back into this. And I was attached to some wires. They were monitoring my heart rate, monitoring my blood pressure. And I didn't appreciate it at the time. I was just very annoyed because I wanted to run. I wanted to jog. I wanted to get my heart rate up. I wanted to do the things that I was doing before. But being the medical professionals, they forced me to ease into it. Over the course of time in cardiac rehab, they allowed me to start jogging again, which was great. A lot of the other people in the class were in awe. Again, they were 50 years older than me. But after graduating cardiac rehab and now being able to reflect upon it, I would suggest that any newly diagnosed heart disease patient, any heart attack, any cardiac arrest survivor, go to cardiac rehab. Work out safely in a controlled environment in front of medical professionals that can help you and can monitor you and kind of slowly ease you back into it safely. It's not going to last forever. You're going to be able to move on and do things on your own, but get back into it slowly by going to cardiac rehab. So I graduated cardiac rehab, and now I want to talk to you about the different types of cardio I do that make me feel good, make me feel healthy. And the first one I'm going to start with is walking, right? Walking is a great form of exercise. It's a very underrated form of exercise. I'll be honest and say I don't use walking as my primary mode of cardio. I usually will go for either a morning walk or an afternoon walk. I'll walk to go get something to eat, walk to go get a matcha or something from Starbucks. But walking is a great way to get some cardio, to get your heart rate up, and not do it at a super intense level. So walking is a great way to get really good exercise. You can throw in the headphones, listen to a podcast, listen to some music, make some phone calls. It's just a great way to be healthy. Second thing is running. Okay, I've recently gotten into running more, and I'm gonna kind of talk through my running routines. I love using the Peloton app. The Peloton app is a great way for me to exercise and run at the guidance of an instructor. I don't run super long distances, but typically what I do is for 5 days during the week, I take a 30-minute Peloton running class. And the class might be a hit and hills, high intensity intervals training with hills. It might be just intervals. It might be just a music class where they have 6 different songs, and each song is, one song might be hills, one song might be progression runs, one song might be sprints. And it's just a good way for me to have a really positive instructor coaching me and not do super intense runs every single day. So typically, again, I do a 30-minute Peloton run every single day for 5 days a week. And then on the weekend, I try to get outside. Here in New England, I don't get to do it all year, but in the spring, summer, and fall, as long as it's not too humid out, on like Saturday or Sunday, I'll run my own personal 5K. So 3.11 approximately miles, and I'll push myself and I'll get my heart rate up, and it kind of stays elevated at a nice level. It's not constantly shooting up and going back down like it would be if I was like playing a basketball game. But I think running is a great way to make yourself feel good, to sweat. And one thing that I kind of keep in mind when doing all these types of cardio is I'm never really at a point where I can't talk, or I feel like I'm gonna keel over if someone tried to have a conversation with me. I try to keep, I get my heart rate up, I push myself, but I'm never really at a point where, I'm not gonna be able to kind of calm down and talk to somebody relatively quickly. So that's the second thing, running. Third thing, biking. I feel like I'm doing a Peloton ad today, but I have a Peloton bike. And I love doing 30, 45-minute Peloton classes on the bike. I think it's a great way not to put a ton of pressure on your feet, on your ankles. I go through phases with the Peloton bike where I use it as my primary mode of cardio, where I do it every single day. And right now with my running routine, I actually am doing the Peloton bike, I would say once a week, to have kind of a little bit of a less intense cardio day, where I'm not putting as much pressure kind of on my leg muscles and my ankles and my feet. I love the Peloton bike. Again, really positive instructors. You can do different types of classes. You can do Tabata, which is the hardest, where we do 2-to-1 ratio, where you'll do like 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. You can do hit and hills. You can do just like a steady ride. And again, it's a great way, positive, upbeat way to get exercise. Last but not least, I would say the fourth way that I get my cardio is going on occasional hikes. We have some nice trails here in New England, where I do really moderate, definitely uphill elevated hikes where it's walking. I'm not really scaling rocks or anything, but I am walking up and getting my heart rate elevated, burning a bunch of calories, getting a good sweat, listening to some music, listening to my headphones. So it's just another great way to get some cardio. And those are the 4 ways that, I get cardio, living with hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, living with heart disease. 1, walking, 2, running, 3, biking, and 4, hiking. And a couple things to remember. Number 1, always consult with your doctor. See what they feel, see what they think is safest for you. If you haven't experienced cardiac rehab yet, give it a shot. It's a great way to safely get back into feeling like you're getting your heart rate elevated in a very controlled environment. And just do what feels good to you. Listen to your body. Understand the symptoms. You've been diagnosed with heart disease. You know it's not good if you're getting chest pain. You know it's not good if you're getting heart palpitations. You know it's not good if you're really short of breath, for no reason. You know it's not good if just things aren't feeling normal. And it's really important to listen to your body and do what's best for you. Again, it's not a competition. That's the greatest thing, you know, about I think my workouts now is when I go to the gym and I get my workouts in, it's about me. I'm not focused on the person next to me. I'm doing my workout and doing what feels best for me. And don't forget, there are a lot of positive long-term effects of doing cardio, even if it's just walking. Get out there, try to get yourself 30 minutes a day. It's not only going to have a ton of health benefits, but it's going to make you feel good too.